Christian Horner's name again dominated headlines last week, following news he'd officially cut ties with Red Bull, with the payout on his contract reported to be up to $100 million. Horner was relieved of his operational duties as Red Bull Racing's CEO and team boss in July, following a 2-decade tenure at the team that he marched to 8 drivers and 6 constructors' crowns. It's alleged that Horner can return to a role in the Formula One paddock sometime in 2026, and that the sport is unfinished business for the ultra-successful and highly motivated Brit. One team Horner won't be going to, though, despite being a perfect fit for the role, is new American entrant Cadillac.
I've had 0 conversations with Christian Horner. There's no truth to that. We're absolutely committed to Graham Loden as our team principal. I can honestly say I have no idea where those rumors came from, so no disrespect to Christian, but we're backing our guy. Graham is our guy. We're super excited that he's here.
Alpine is one option, despite Horner's past political stoushes with parent Renault, with the squad in transition, from works outfit to customer team, and needing a real management anchor beyond executive advisor Flavio Briatore to lead Enstone back to success. Aston Martin is another potential destination, though that could depend on the state of his working relationship with Adrian Newey, a chance at a shareholding, and where he would fit in the lineup. Haas would enable Horner to mold a startup squad with solid foundations and potential to grow via its technical partnership with Toyota, though would owner Gene Haas cede a stake and control. Horner is one of the most successful team bosses in F1 history, so there's no doubt that he will be in demand. But the next few months will determine where he'll pop up in the paddock. Carlos Sainz was the feel-good story of the last race in Azerbaijan capital Baku, after he scored his maiden podium for Williams and the first for the team since Belgium 2021. It was the Spaniard's first point score since Canada and 7th overall for the team, almost doubling his haul in one race, and validated his bet on Williams after being forced out of Ferrari. It also meant he now shares a record with 4-time F1 world champion Alain Prost as the second driver in history to score podiums for McLaren, Ferrari, and Williams. Sainz's star was never brighter than his last season with Ferrari in 2024, with 2 impressive wins, though he arrived at Grove unconcerned that his sparkle might fade in the midfield.
I think your reputation is not built on the race wins, it's and the feedback that you give to your engineers in the way you manage to build this relationship with the teams that you're part. And with wins or no wins, if I do a good job and I'm performing at my highest level, I think the best is yet to come.
Sainz and the squad are betting heavily on a step change from 2026, with plans to step forward into the front-runners' battle. Of course, the true picture will only be revealed after qualifying at the first race in Australia, but the Spaniard is ready for anything, as one of F1's most adaptable drivers. Who has raced for 5 teams across his career: Toro Rosso, Renault, McLaren, Ferrari, and Williams, and experience with 3 power units in Renault, Ferrari, and Mercedes. The competition between Sainz and teammate Alex Albon, though, is on, with the Spaniard on the podium for the team before the Anglo-Thai pilot. And that matchup could get spicier should the team deliver a winning car in future seasons, as Sainz predicted earlier this year. Mercedes heads to Singapore on a high, following its highest point score since Canada at the last race in Azerbaijan, where George Russell took a 7th podium for the season, with rookie driver Andrea Kimi Antonelli 4th for solid points in what it's hoped will be a turning point in his roller coaster debut campaign in F1. But Singapore is expected to be a tougher challenge for the team, though, in regard to the track's corners that require a different approach.
our car is less stable than we would wish it to be in that combined braking and turning situation. So if you take that, add it to the fact that it's a warmer sort of place, those will be the things that we've been needing to guard against, trying to get that stability into the car in that opening phase of the corner so that the drivers feel confident to pitch it in on a tight, intimidating circuit where the walls will clobber you in the blink of an eye.
Mercedes left Baku with 30 points, taking its total to 290, 4 more than Ferrari, which is yet to unlock its front-running form. Red Bull, though, won the last 2 races and is just 18 adrift of the Silver Arrows, making this a tight 3-way battle for runner-up in the Constructors' title, with a reported $10 million in prize money between final placings. Double point scores will therefore be crucial.
Our focus will be on making sure that we get both our cars up there strongly in the points at every weekend, and that is largely, we're masters of our own destiny there, because that is how well we prepare for the weekends, how well we then execute that plan and give the drivers a stable platform that they've had plenty of laps in on the Friday, so that when it comes to getting the job done on the Saturday and Sunday, they feel confident to do so.
Singapore has long been a welcome sight for Formula One fans since the sport's first visit in 2008, with the Asian city-state a fashionable, luxurious and cosmopolitan hub on the equator. A hot and humid home to over 6 million people of Chinese, Indian and Malay descent, ensuring some of the best dining, sights and experiences, including the Singapore Grand Prix, F1's original night race, which is a standalone round sitting between Azerbaijan and Austin in the USA, which will be 2025's 4th sprint event, and then twinned with Mexico as a double-header. Fans, though, will want a closer fight in the city-state this year, following Lando Norris's dominant 2024 victory for McLaren, especially with titles on the line, including the battle for the drivers with teammate Oscar Piastri. Norris finished almost 21 seconds ahead of his then-championship rival Red Bull's Max Verstappen, with teammate Oscar Piastri moving up from 5th to finish 3rd in Marina Bay's shortest-ever race. Mercedes will want a far stronger showing in Singapore this year after it ruined Lewis Hamilton's milestone 350th race in 2024 by starting him on the softs and underestimating the early lap pace.
We shouldn't have started on the softs. That was a mistake. If we could turn back time, we would do what those around us did and select the mediums. The reasoning was that the soft tyre very often allows you to get away from the start abruptly and allows you a good chance of jumping a place or two.
Allison, however, celebrated George Russell, who fought to finish where he started in 4th, despite Ferrari's Charles Leclerc applying the pressure.
Big up also to the guys at HPP who got all the switch settings dead right, so that we had as much as the power unit was able to give for those very tense closing laps. And I think too that Leclerc had to take a lot out of his tyres getting to George.
The now retired 4-time F1 world champion Sebastian Vettel is still on top of the Singapore victories list with 5 wins, while Lewis Hamilton on 4 is able to equal him this year, with his most recent Marina Bay win coming in 2018, and 2025 could be Ferrari's year, with Singapore an outlier, one where qualifying is crucial. The drivers, though, will as always have their work cut out for them in Singapore, with this race the toughest on the F1 calendar, and cockpit temperatures reaching up to 60 degrees Celsius at racing speeds. Since 2023, Singapore's Marina Bay street circuit is down to just a 4.94-kilometer lap, with local construction requiring a modified layout. The cars go straight at what was turn 16 and connect with what was turn 19 to form a new 397.9-meter-long back straight. Daniel Ricciardo set the lap record in 2024 during his final race. There are again 3 DRS activation zones, one down the back straight, another between turns 13 and 14, and along the pit straight. There are 3 separate detection points. Hot, humid, and high octane, with the barriers inches away. It's time for the Singapore Grand Prix. Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.